Heyo! Welcome to Joyful Noise Learning. I'm Ashley. I'm married to this guy. I homeschool my 3 kids, and I like to speak Spanish when I go to Mexican restaurants. Ole! If you're new here, you need to know that I've homeschooled my 3 kids for about 8 years now. No, 7, 6, something like that. But I've homeschooled kids all the way from 2 years old up until my 9.5-year-old now. So I've gone through 3 different preschoolers and 3 different toddlers. My youngest is now going into kindergarten, but homeschooling with littles is rather difficult. So we are bringing to you today a collaboration video. I'm doing this video with several other awesome homeschool moms, and this is hosted by Jamie at Simply Living It. You can find her link in the description box below, along with the playlist for all the amazing, awesome homeschool moms that are doing this collaboration with me. So we're glad you're here. What I'm excited about is that you're going to get the perspective of several different kinds of homeschool moms. I noticed there were some veteran homeschool moms in this group, and there were some newer homeschool moms as well. Some have younger kids, some have older kids. So you're gonna get a few perspectives if you watch all the videos in the playlist. So let's jump in. Here are my 5 tips to successfully homeschooling when you have toddlers or preschoolers with you. Tip number 1, homeschooling with littles is difficult. Give yourself grace. And I'm gonna say that very first thing because not one day is gonna be the same as the next. You are spending your energy on homeschooling your older kids as well as training your preschooler or your toddler. And training in the toddler years and the preschool years is very, very tough, especially if you have a child who is like my youngest. It hasn't been easy. But either way, there'll be many days that you will not be able to do what Susie homeschooler down the street is doing. She has maybe an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. It's gonna look different. You're not gonna be able to go out on all the amazing, fascinating trips all the time, or you'll maybe have to make sure you're home every afternoon for nap time, or you're constantly cleaning up and potty training, you know, all the things that come with toddlers and preschoolers. So give yourself grace, mama. This is a hard season and it's difficult. So if you go in with this mindset, you'll be better prepared to conquer those challenging days, not just if, but when they come. Along with that, this season won't last forever, I promise. Toddlers turn into preschoolers, preschoolers turn into big kids turn into preteens. Well, anyway, you get the point. This season is not gonna last forever, so just try to be present in the season that you're in, conquer the days with grace, and know that you won't be in the season forever. Homeschooling with littles tip number 2 is busy bags and sensory play activities. These are a homeschool mom's secret weapon or best friend, or whichever one you want to use there. I was introduced to these when my oldest was younger, and I ended up making a ton of busy bags and busy boxes. And at the time, it felt like a lot of work. But after doing all that, I had so many preschool activities just at my fingertips to pull out and use for my other children. So here's what you can do. Search Pinterest. I've got some on my board on Pinterest if you want to look. Search for sensory play activities, busy bags, busy boxes, anything like that. And then you're going to pick all of your favorites and then set aside a day or 2 to gather the supplies and put them all together, and so they're all set up and ready to go. A most simple one is Play-Doh. If you don't want to do anything else, Play-Doh and bubbles. There you go. Those are my freebies. Oh, and puzzles. Puzzles are good too. So grab all those items and then have them set in a specific spot that you will pull out for your toddler or your preschool when it is time for them to do that activity. So here's a couple secrets on how to do this practically on a day-to-day basis. Don't pull these out until it's time for school that you're going to work with your older kids. That way it's a little special. They know that it's not just a toy that I play with anytime I want, but it's for that special time that mommy needs to be doing other things with the other kids. One thing I do is I try to pick these out either the night before or even early in the morning first thing. I pull it out, have it sitting on the table or designated area for my little. Now with the designated area, it's great to have that. Some kids can handle being at the table with the other kids, but others may not. So I've seen moms use a sheet or a blanket and set it on the floor, and they set the activity down there. Then it's easy cleanup. Maybe if you have a rice bowl or something, rice falls on the sheet, easy peasy, clean it up. You just have to train your kid on where to go and how to do that. Other kids, sometimes a high chair works, or a playpen if you have a kid that will need to be contained a little bit more or strapped in, if you know what I mean. Sometimes if you have little ones that need to run around and just get that energy out, I take school outside. That way your little one can just play outside. You can give them a busy bag activity or just paintbrush and water or bubbles, or something where they can play by themselves while you work with the other kids. Another great thing to keep your kiddos busy when you want them to sit still and be quiet for a little bit is just to give them a snack. So a bowl of Cheerios, bowl of cereal, goldfish crackers, a cup of milk, whatever it is you guys use. So give your kiddo a snack and they'll sit and they'll listen for read-alouds or things like that where you want them to be quiet for a while. A quick note about screen time. I am one of those moms who says it's okay to use screen time, but I don't think we should use it too much. So especially for my little guys, I don't just hand them a phone and say, here, go, have at it. So I try to give them designated times or designated days that my little guy gets to watch mom-approved shows or play some educational apps that he can use. So I think it's okay to use, but just try not to overdo it and not rely on screen time too often. Prolonged screen usage can definitely backfire on you. Tip number 3 is to schedule activities around nap time. So that means doing your out of the house stuff in the morning, maybe doing play dates, library visits, outside play, anything like that during the morning. And then when it's nap time, you can schedule to do some sit down schoolwork with your bigger kids while your little one naps. So use that to your advantage. Unless it's one of those days where mommy needs a nap too, then just make sure you make note of that and get school done some other time with your other kids. Tip number 4 is special time with mom. So I've noticed that one-on-one time is really, really important to have for your littles. This is another great secret weapon. Sometimes it can be a big help to spend some focused one-on-one time with your little guys before you start your big school schedule. And I say sometimes because there's some days where it doesn't matter how much you give to your little guy. He's just gonna want you all day. He's maybe cutting teeth, or maybe he's just scared about something he's learning about. You know, the world is big and scary for those little ones, and they're always learning and growing. So some days are just tougher than others. You know, potty training, all those things. But giving some one-on-one focus time can help. So make sure you schedule that into your day somewhere where you can focus on that little one. We like to read books together. My little one likes to color. We also like to make muffins together. It's really fun. And this activity doesn't even have to be educational. It can be something simple like taking a walk together or working on the garden together. I have one kid who likes wrestling. Wrestling is basically his love language. So I will wrestle with this child and he gets that rough and tumble attention and physical touch. He's a very physical touch kid. So wrestling is what I do with my little guy. So after you give your little one some extra attention and you fill up their tank, they'll be less inclined to beg for that attention throughout the rest of the day or when you're focused on your other children. So there you have it. I thought I had 5 tips. Apparently I only have 4, but you've got to give yourself some grace, use busy bags or sensory activities, schedule activities around nap time, and make sure you spend one-on-one time with them. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet for more homeschool help videos. Also check out the playlist from the other homeschool moms on how to homeschool with littles. And just for you, in the description box, I have a free downloadable list of all my favorite preschool resources. I have some great books to read to get yourself ready to homeschool. I've got my favorite curriculums and activities. Check that out in the description box below. I also have a new ebook coming out soon. It's going to be a step-by-step guide on how to homeschool for brand new homeschool moms. Be sure to check out more info on that in the description as well. So thanks so much for watching. I'm glad you're here. I will see you next time. And I like to speak Spanish when I go to Mexican restaurants. Try again. And this is hosted by Jamie. Peace.